We've talked about why it's vital for the Obama administration to take action on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict during their remaining time in office. We've discussed how the president could put forward a non-binding vision for resolving the conflict. Today, we're going to talk about steps that the administration could take to put more weight behind the long-standing bipartisan U.S. opposition to settlement expansion. The expansion of Israeli settlements in the West Bank continues to severely undermine the prospects for a two-state solution, and therefore threatens Israel's future as a secure, democratic Jewish homeland. The settlements complicate the territorial compromises that need to be made as part of final status negotiations, and cause Palestinians to doubt Israel's commitment to serious peace talks. By entrenching the Israeli presence in the West Bank and making life more difficult for Palestinians, they also increase tensions between the parties. The arrangements that have been made for the benefit of settlers and for security, checkpoints, settler-only roads, the route of the security barrier, have all made daily life more difficult for Palestinians, deepening hostility and increasing the odds of violence and conflict. While leaders of the settlement movement pursue their vision of controlling all of the West Bank, most Israelis continue to prefer a two-state solution that can bring lasting security. Unfortunately, the interests and wishes of a huge portion of Israelis have often been outweighed by the relatively small but powerful pro-settlement minority. For nearly 50 years, under every presidential administration, from LBJ to Barack Obama, it has been consistent, bipartisan U.S. policy to oppose settlement expansion. Unfortunately, the footprint and number of settlers have continued to expand, with the rate of expansion going up in recent years. The U.S. should therefore consider taking concrete steps to more meaningfully implement its long-standing opposition. The Obama administration can do so by clarifying that the settlements are illegal in the eyes of the U.S. government. From 1967 on, the U.S. officially referred to settlements as illegal, until they began instead referring to them as illegitimate in the 1980s. By reverting to the original phrase illegal, the U.S. can make clear how serious its opposition is. Another step the administration can take is to ensure that products made over the Green Line are labeled as such, and not labeled as made in Israel. This has been a U.S. customs requirement since 1995, and it's time to enforce it. The rule makes clear that the U.S. government does not and never has recognized the land over the Green Line as officially part of Israel. Enforcing this rule would help to emphasize the importance of the Green Line. Since the Green Line must serve as an important starting point for discussions on borders in future negotiations, it's vital that the U.S. do everything it can to maintain and reinforce it. We also know that there are a limited number of organizations currently receiving U.S. tax deductions for contributions toward activities that help fuel settlement expansion. The administration should consider having the IRS examine and report back to the president on whether organizations operating over the Green Line meet the existing legal standard. The current standard is that charitable activities should not be illegal or contrary to clearly defined or established public policy. Any of the actions that I have outlined would be an important step towards preserving Israel's Jewish and democratic character. For the sake of a two-state solution and the best interests of both Israelis and Palestinians, it's time for the Obama administration to act.